Welcome to Mortgage 101, where you will learn the important steps of buying or refinancing a home. Hello, I am glad you are here. My name is Nathan Rufty, a mortgage loan originator with over 25 years of lending experience that has your best interests in mind. After listening to this full podcast, connect with me to discuss your home loan needs. Now on with the show. Hello and welcome to another very informative podcast with Mortgage 101. My name is Nathan Rufty, a mortgage loan originator. Today's topic is going to be a down payment. There's still a lot of buyers out there that think they need to come up with 20% down to buy a house. Totally false. It would be optimal to come in with 20% down, but you do not need 20% down to purchase a home. So I want to go through the traditional financing, USDA, VA, FHA, and conventional on the down payments for the minimum down payments for those each four programs. Now, FHA, that program is not dedicated just for first-time home buyers. You can purchase, you can be an existing homeowner and you can purchase utilizing the FHA program. You can be a homeowner that sold a home 6 months ago and utilize the FHA program with a minimum of 3.5% down. Now, all these programs I'm going to go into have a minimum credit score qualification, debt to income ratio qualification, so you must meet debt ratio and income qualification and credit qualifications to make sure that this program is right for you. So not everybody's going to qualify for these programs. They differ from program to program. But as of today, if you meet the minimum requirements for FHA is a minimum of 3.5% down of the purchase amount. So you're going to purchase a $300,000 property, that's $10,500 down. Okay? If you want to purchase $200,000 property, 3.5% down, $7,000. So those are 3.5 of whatever the purchase amount is going to be your minimum requirement for FHA. And FHA will go down to a minimum of $500. Currently, they'll insure a homeowner if they meet the credit and everything else qualifications down to a $500. Now, you, the consumer, must find a lender that's going to go down to a $500. Some lenders will go down to a $5, some cap it at $580, $600, $620, $640, $660, and $680. So lenders will do what's called an overlay. They will say, well, FHA will insure them down to $500, but I'm not going to take that risk on because of this bucket of qualifications of these individuals with credit scores. There's a high default rate with those individuals of this credit score. So you're getting lumped in with that bucket of homeowners or buyers that are saying, hey, I got a 580, I still can purchase, but that bucket has a high default rate. That's why some of these lenders will raise their minimum credit score from a 500 to a 640, 620, and those are called overlays. So you must find some lender that's going to lend down to that. And currently the lender I'm with goes down to a 580. But if you got a 520, 560, there's some underlying problems there that are driving you down to a 560 or 500 that you must clean up. VA, you must be an active or retired veteran or married to a veteran, and there's some other caveats to that. A survivor, a VA benefit survivor, that their spouse was the veteran, and they can pass it on to their spouse that is a non-veteran, and that veteran benefit, that individual has passed away. Family members, so there are some cases where a son and a father can purchase, and one of them was the veteran, and both of them can go on utilizing the VA program. But you must have some type of veteran, active or retired veteran, to utilize in good standing now to utilize the VA program, which is no money for the down payment if you're in good standing. Now, if you utilize the VA before, you might have to satisfy that if it went into a foreclosure or something happened that your VA benefit was not restored. You're going to have to pay some money to the VA to get it restored. But right now, up to the county loan limit, there's no money for the down payment. Anything over the county loan limit. Right now, county loan limit's 510, 400 in the county that I work in, 510, 400. So I like to round. So if the county loan limit's 500 and the purchase amount 600, you cannot purchase that at a no money down at 600,000. You're going to have to bring in 25% of the difference. Okay, 25% of the difference. So 500,000 is the county loan limit, 600 is the purchase price. There's $100,000 between the two. Well, you have to bring in 25% of that 100,000. So all you got to do is bring in $25,000. That will be your down payment. That's called a high balance. So anything above the county loan limit, you just bring in 25% of that difference of the purchase amount and the county loan limit. So that's how the VA works. Right now, in each county will have a different set of the VA purchase limit up to that zero money down, no money down. But it's not totally no money down. If you're buying a $700,000 house in San Bernardino County in California, you must bring in at least some down payment money of 25% of the difference. Conventional. Everybody says, oh, conventional, I need to bring in 20%. No. Conventional minimum down payment. Now, these are minimum, 3%. You can bring in 3.125. You can bring in 3.5. You can bring in 4. You can bring in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It does not matter with conventional. Your minimum down payment is 3%. That is it. So if you qualify for that, bring in a minimum of 3% of the purchase amount. So 3% of $200,000, $6,000. 3% of $300,000, $9,000. $400,000, $12,000. So it's 3% is the minimum down payment requirement for the purchase amount up to the county loan limit. Now, when I talk about county loan limit, the FHA, VA, conventional, and USDA, well, USDA doesn't have a county loan limit, but those three, FHA, VA, and conventional, has a loan limit that they will go up to. These are traditional financing with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, and you've probably heard of those institutions before. So their minimum down payment is X. FHA is 3.5%, VA 0, up to the county loan limit. FHA 3.5% up to the county loan limit. They won't. San Bernardino County I'm in is like $450 at the moment or thereabouts. If you buy a $550 and you cannot go conventional, you have to go FHA. You got to bring in that difference of the $550 down to the $450. So you got to bring $100,000 down in a county that has a limit of X. So each county, and they change, they'll go up and they'll go down over the years on the county loan limit. And they're pretty healthy right now. They've always been pretty healthy. So conventional 3% down up to the county loan limit. County loan limits are not $1 million. And they might reach there one day, but at the present moment, and as long as I've been doing lending, has never been $1 million. For right now, they are pretty high. So right now, you're at 765, 600 for the highest county loan limit right now on where I am licensed to do business. And FHA is 442, 750 where I'm licensed to do business. So those will be the minimum down payment for conventional, 3% up to whatever that county loan limit. Right now, county loan limit is 765, 600 in the counties that I'm in. That's the highest. Now, some counties will be lower than that 765. So 3% down. USDA does not have a county loan limit. You can purchase up to $1 million if you want. And have a loan amount up to that. The caveat to that is they have an income limit. So you can't make over X amount of dollars on the USDA program. You do not need to be a first-time home buyer, just like conventional and VA and FHA. You don't need to be a first-time home buyer to use those programs. That's where everybody gets confused on, I need 20% down. Nope. Minimum is 0 if you meet the USDA or VA requirements. If you don't, then a minimum is 3%. FHA is at 3.5%, so you do not need 20% down. You don't need a 620 credit score. Now that is conventionals right now. Minimum credit score is a 620. So you don't want to think you have a 580, you can go conventional. Conventional 620, and that's everybody. That's their minimum. Like FHA goes down to a 500, conventional goes down to a 620. So at 620 and above, you're good. And some lenders may, well, I don't want a 620. I'm going to go down to a 640 or 660 or 680 on conventional. I haven't seen that, but they can definitely do their overlays. But for right now, it's a 620 minimum credit score. With a 620, you still can put 3% down. That's it. Now, financing might not be in your favor. It might push you over to the FHA program, but minimum's 3%. USDA's going to USDA, 0%, no money down for the USDA. Okay, but they do have an income limit, and they go down to a 620. But some lenders may not do USDA. Some lenders will say, well, I don't want to do 620, I want to do 640. And we call those Govy loans. So the Govy loans are FHA, VA, and USDA. So lenders can do what's called an overlay and say, I'm going to increase X amount of dollars X amount of credit scores, I'm not going to do the bare minimum. I'm going to do the higher of what we want to do, a 680 or 660, because the default rate on higher credit scores are less than the individual with the 580. So those are the minimum down payments. 3.5 for FHA minimum. VA, zero money down, but you got to meet the qualifications for that. I got to be a veteran active or retired or connected to a veteran status. Conventional, 3% down. USDA, no money down. So you must meet these credit qualifications, obviously, and the debt ratio qualifications and the credit qualifications. And credit, there's two parts of the credit, and I've talked about that before on other podcasts, which I'll put the link about the credit below. You got the credit score itself and what's in the body of the credit score. What's in the body of the credit score, you may have lendable 640 credit to go conventional at 3% down, but what's in the body of it may prevent you from going conventional. That's going to default you to a FHA. So then you got to come up with 3.5% down. So you do not need 20% down. 20% down is a lot of money for a lot of people. So if you're buying a $300,000 house and that's 20%, $60,000. For conventional, 3%, FHA 3.5%, VA 0, USDA 0. That's it. You do not need to come up with a lot of money. And there are some down payment assistance programs out there. Each state might have their own, we call them DPA, so that's what I'll say from here on out because it's shorter. The DPA programs will be some state specific, might be a national, might be a city or county specific down payment assistance program that will assist that first-time home buyer, or they don't have to be a first-time home buyer. There's one out there right now, currently as I do this podcast, Chenoa, that you do not have to be a first-time home buyer. We do that program on a Chenoa. Now, they will set their own parameters. They have their own interest rate, so you cannot go on a conventional and go, I want the Chenoa down payment. Well, Chenoa is going to have their own, and these other DPAs are going to have their own interest rates, their own underwrite guidelines. So they say, well, DU, desktop underwriting for FHA, will go 57% back-end ratio, but if you need a down payment assistance, we're not going to let you go 57. That's kind of a default waiting to happen. We're going to maybe take that down to 50, 47, 45, 43, 40. They're going to move that debt to income ratio down, even though you may be able to go higher if you do traditional stuff, but you got to come up with your own money. But if you need some assistance for a down payment to purchase a property, they're going to restrict you. They're not going to give you that same benefits if you were to bring your own money in, because now you're relying on yourself. And these funds for the down payment assistance program can come from a DPA, your own funds, checking, savings, stocks, bonds, Roth, IRAs, mutual funds. You can sell something of value like a car, like a precious jewelry, artwork, but make sure you get all the paper trail for that, of course, pink slips and receipts, and we can paper trail that money. You can get a gift from your family member. You can get cash out your 401k or take some money out of your 401k. We need to see the terms of withdrawal. So there's money that we can find. The seller can pay for some of your closing costs. Seller cannot pay for your down payment, but the seller can pay for your closing costs. So there's ways to find money if need be. I've had customers sell automobiles that are free and clear, and they go sell them, or they sell weapons or artwork or whatever. We obviously have to get some paper trail for that minimum down payment of 3%. You can tap into your 401k. You can't get it borrowed. You can't take a cash advance on your credit card. We must show that this is a gift from somebody. We must show a paper trail on where this large amount of money is going to come from. But 3% down is still a lot for a lot of money, but for a lot of people. But it's a lot much easier to obtain 3% down on a $300,000 house at $9,000, and then you can ask the seller for some closing costs. So do not need the full 20% down. That is a lot of money. If you have it, great. If you want to keep some of that 20 and you got 20, but you want to keep some of it, do 10% down. That's where we're going to have to discuss putting the 10 or the 8 or the 20% or 5% down, what makes more financial sense for you. But 3% bare minimum on the conventional, 3.5% for FHA. VA, zero money for the down payment up to the county loan limit. Same thing with conventional and FHA, the minimum 3.5% up to the county loan limit. USDA, no money down for the USDA. They do have an income limit. That is the difference between the three of the other programs, is there is an income limit. So you're not going to be able to purchase up to that $1 million. If you can, great, but there's an income limit. Hopefully this has helped, that you do not need the required 20% down to buy a house. My name is Nathan Rufty. All my contact information is below. I'd love to connect with you and talk to you about some financing options to purchase a home with no money down to as little as 3.5% down. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to this very informative podcast. Remember to subscribe, share, like, and comment. There is no better time than today to explore your options to purchase or refinance a home. Please call, text, or email me at the information below to get started right away, and I look forward in hearing from you.